I mean, how would Americans feel if Mexico was pursuing drug dealers into the United States and bombing American towns in Texas and Arizona and California?
They are the weapon of choice in the war on terror. Unmanned Predator drones, operated every day by the CIA over the rugged Pakistan tribal areas.
There are grave concerns about the number of civilians being killed by UAVs.
The use of drones in non-combat zones is deeply problematic. In fact, it's completely unacceptable. One of the interesting illustrations of this was the information that the United States had placed on its target list an American citizen, Mr. al-Awlaki, who is apparently based in Yemen and has been preaching jihad against the United States. The response on the part of a great many commentators in the US was, you can't do that to an American citizen. There's got to be some sort of due process. But the response of the international community is the same thing, but on a much larger scale. In other words, you can't do that to anyone.
You know, it's a violation of their sovereignty because we're not at war with Pakistan and we're indiscriminately bombing villages. Now, let's be truthful about this. The CIA is not intending to kill Pakistani civilians, but it is. You can't help it with these weapons. They're area weapons. You're going to be killing, if you get one person, you're going to be killing 20 other innocent people, women and children.
As a total number of people that were killed during these programs, 98% were civilians. That alone should counsel U.S. policymakers, the military, the CIA, and every other clandestine group that's involved in this, not to use this as a major tool, or frankly, as any tool.
I don't speak just of the legal or the moral ramifications. It's the sort of tactical and strategic ramifications of killing these people that does produce enough sort of backlash for the U.S. to be concerned about.
The idea that any state can kill any person in another state if they feel strongly enough about them, if they consider them to be a high enough value target, is deeply problematic in terms of international law.
The strikes are secret because neither the U.S. nor Pakistan wants to admit the CIA routinely violates Pakistani sovereignty. But everybody knows who to blame.
The CIA, of course, plays a very important role in gathering intelligence, but it was not intended to be an operational agency, and it's therefore not set up in any way to provide any accountability for what it's doing in terms of this particular program.
In his first year in office, President Barack Obama has approved 43 strikes into Pakistan. That's more than all of the strikes conducted in the last 3 years of the Bush administration, according to one study.
If skeptics of big government in the United States should be alarmed about anything, they should be alarmed by this killing program. Because not only is it big, and not only is it expensive, and not only is it not necessary, there's no accountability to the taxpayers whatsoever.
The Pentagon is expected to buy almost 700 more next year at a cost of more than $1 billion.
The more these strikes go on, the more Pashtuns we kill, the more the Pashtuns are going to turn to suicide bombing, and they're going to be going after, among other things, the government in Islamabad or inside the army. And, you know, even in places we can't even imagine.
Every time they kill somebody, they are killing somebody's father, son, brother, husband. They're killing people that are going to want to avenge those deaths.
It's counterproductive in terms of the US's own objectives, and it's setting precedents which will very quickly come back to haunt the US.
If the government is not telling us who they're going to kill, and if they're not telling the courts who they're going to kill, and if they're not giving anybody an opportunity to defend themselves, and if they're not putting forth any evidence whatsoever, our democracy is dead.